Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Okay, so this is a good start. Alright, this is fantastic. Yeah, so I'm just gonna give it a few minutes. Let's start this off. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I did say that the full spoiler series will come after I'm completed with the Walk Up the Tower, and the Walk Up the Tower I'm actually completed with. However, I'm just doing this as a precursor to it, so you're gonna get this here up before the entire series is completed on the channel, although it's actually finished and completely uploaded. So everything is there, there's nothing to stress about in terms of TOG. Now, full spoilers is going to spoil the entire story. This is just a heads up, and it is basically said in the name, full spoilers. That's what I'm calling the series. So Tower of God full spoilers. We're doing season 1. So I don't know how many episodes I'm going to do in each of these episodes, like this here for live streams, depending on whether I get an audience or not. If I get 10, 20 people, then I will keep going with it, maybe 2 or 3 chapters. But the whole idea behind this is I want to talk about each and every chapter. I want to talk about the things that happen in chapter 1, the things that happen in chapter 2. Every little bit of detail that I can squeeze out of the story is going to be exposed. That's the whole idea behind full spoilers. So yeah, here we go with the prologue, right? What do you desire? So we do know that those who go up the tower always have some kind of driving force. Now the first person we get is Nare, and we see that her option is money and wealth. So does she want money and wealth? And the reason for the question mark at the end is because even what you want may change when you go up the tower, because you still don't know what it is yourself. It's a growth, it's a development. That is something that they're emphasizing here. So, the question marks on each of these is something big. Honor and pride, especially for Huts. Huts becomes very loyal to his friends, and he gains loyalty and companionship instead of honor and pride. His honor and his pride aren't something so big because we know that it gets shattered at a certain point in the story, and from there he grows into a different person. Authority and power. Now, Kun, on the other hand, we do see that this one here is kind of weird. He still keeps seeking power, and he always wants authority, and he also wants his friend. So he becomes more greedy. His goal here, authority and power, grows into more things. Revenge. Now we know that that's what Anak came into the tower for, but in the end she ends up with other reasons to keep going. Remember, she ends up with that team from the first floor, she ends up with companions, she has other reasons to keep going up the tower. So there was another thing to do with the whole story of it, because we know in the end she's very close to Ender Rossi, who is a Jahad who she's here to kill. Every Jahad in the tower, that's her objective. And then the last one, or something that transcends all these. Rak doesn't know what he's here for. He's here to hunt stronger prey. He wants to become more powerful by hunting more powerful individuals. And we know that about him, and eventually he ends up forming a team with people who give him something even greater than the thrill of hunting. And that's his first team, the team with Baam, Kun, and several of the others. Alright, so whatever you desire is here. Alright. Tower of God begins now. Okay, so here we go with episode 1. We get this we get this running scene, which is one of the most weird scenes of all, because there's only one person involved in the first one. We get this weird child running, and we see that he's huffing. We don't even know what's going on, but in reality, when you think about the whole spoilers, we know that this is Baam chasing after Rachel, right? And then we get Rachel running, and we see that the huff, 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 huff is continuing, and we see he grabs her ribbon and he pulls her. Thump. Where are you going? Okay, so that's the first question he asks Rachel, and we see Rachel has this stern look on her face, like it doesn't matter to her. We do know that she's using Baam, and she's probably using even more than we can imagine. You understand that she is a nothing, right? She's absolutely nothing in the correspondence of this whole story. But what she desires is to be someone great. So she's trying to take advantage of Baam. And that's the reality behind it. She's trying to take advantage of Bam and become something greater. So yeah, that's this whole story. I'm going up the tower. Remember what I told you, Bam? I can get to the outer world if I get to the top of the tower. I will see the blue sky during the day and the starlight at night. So I'm going up the tower. I'm sick of living in this dark world. Okay, so we see that the world they live in is a dark world. So this would explain why the irregulars entered the tower, right? This gives us some hints to the later parts of the story, although some of it may be retconned, right? We know Yurik says that outside the tower it's a far greater world, it's even more vast than inside the tower, but he's never been to the outside world. He's just been outside of the tower, in the place where they come from, the outside world, where the irregulars come from, right? And we see that this world is dark. Now Bam lives in a cave, so his world is even darker than everybody else's. I'm sorry, forget about me. Let me be born again, okay? And there's it. And she enters the tower because he opened the door by accident. No, don't go, Rachel. Please don't do this, right? And there's the tower opening. If you go, I'll follow you until I die. Right? This might be one of the biggest statements ever, because one of the first things that we learn is this is the story of Bam and Rachel, right? It's both of their stories. And since you know it's the story of Bam and Rachel, one is the Axis. And this is the reality behind it. When we find out what Axis are the ones who are telling us the story. They're the one narrating it. They're the one following the whole journey. The one who's changing everything to their world is Bam. The one who's fighting to try and take it from Bam is Rachel. So yeah, Bam is most likely an Axis. I've said it multiple times. It's very likely that he's going to end up being an Axis for end user Tales in the end. Right? Because I doubt that SIU is just going to leave one of his best characters to die in the tower at the end of it, or to be left as a tower character who can't fight with the Axis. It would be so pointless. Don't go, Rachel. Don't go, please. Where am I? Light. It's been a while since there's been a visitor like you here. I won't hurt you. It's been a while since a visitor has opened the gate by himself. So that's Hiran, and he's lying, right? It hasn't been a while. It's been a few minutes since the last visitor from outside the tower. Welcome to the tower, young man. Is it a monster? Am I inside the tower? Now this is something weird, right? Bam senses that Hiran is a monster. We know that Bam has some really good instinct. Remember the way he takes on that first test? He does something that only the guide could see for the success of that first test. And that means that his instincts are incredible. Okay, my name is Hiran. I'm the guardian of the first floor of the tower. So here's something that we get. He's the administrator of the first floor. That is Hiran. Hiran is one of the most special administrators, since he's the only administrator who can go to other floors. All the other administrators are stuck on their floors. They call them guardians, they call them administrators, they call them divine Shinwei, whatever you want to call the administrators, right? And this is it. What's your name, young man? Okay. It's the day I was born. Bam has two different meanings in Korean. One is night, the other is chestnut. Right? So we get that Bam wasn't even named. Rachel didn't even bother to give Bam his name. She just called him person born on the 25th night. Right? Bam, the 25th Bam, the 25th night. That's when he was born. The 25th night. That's when his life came back to him, or when he was found. One of the two. Right? Okay. So we know this 100% isn't his name, so we can erase it. So 25th Bam isn't his name. It's just a blank placeholder. Jovial Grace is much better because it's a name actually given to him by people who have relation to him in proper consequence. Grace Mashaya Lazlak is definitely way more related to him than Rachel, unless Rachel is actually meant to be his nurse and make him go into the tower and have him climb up and defeat everything. Well, anyway, she would be a big backstabber, so we count her out of that role, and we'll say that this role is filled better by Jovial Grace, right? Well then, I will call you Bam Boy. Now that sounds tasty. Okay, so chestnut, right? How did you end up here? I followed a girl here. Didn't a girl with blonde hair go past here? All answers are up there. That's all I can tell you. If you want to find your answers and your girl, head up. Whether you are looking for wealth, immortality, absolute power, magical abilities, or mysteries, just head up. All the truth, glory, and happiness of the world are all up there. The tower is such a place. And this is kind of ironic, right? Because these statements that are made here, they're actually kind of 100% true. What Balm is seeking in here is Rachel right now. But what he finds is happiness and a lot of good things, right? And we can see that he shows this this visage of the outside, and I think that's something we're going to see in the end. The tower is such a place. We see Hiron say that there. But remember, it is a hard and painful journey to embark on. Okay, so we get that there. This is going to be difficult, young man. I would take any risk just to see her. Excellent. I like your resolve. Then let's do a test to see if you are qualified to go up the tower. A test? What test? Is this in this tower? Every time you go up a floor, there is a test to see whether you are qualified to go to the next floor. If you pass the test, you can proceed to the next floor. Tests are decided by the administrator and the rules of each floor. Of course, the difficulty varies depending on which floor you are on. In other words, if Mr. Balm wants to go up to the next floor, you need to pass my test. This is the test of the first floor. Boom. The ball. What is the ball and who is that? The huge monster? The ball is a simple test. The ball is a round human-sized sphere. Okay, now here's something else I'm just going to say. We know that this test was made for Rachel's ability to climb up the tower. It's not for Balm's ability. Balm's ability to climb up the tower is way easier. If Balm had to do this here, depending on what his test was, if he was here on any other reason besides following Rachel, he wouldn't have to do this test. His test would be different. Hiron is going to test the person based on their conviction. He wants to go and find Rachel. Rachel is right here, so actually there's no reason for him to do the test. If he stopped and said Rachel is here, she couldn't pass this test. Pop when you hit hard enough. To pass this test, the rules are simple. You need to go inside the bars and run out and outrun and defeat the monster by popping the ball. Do that and you pass the test. Could it be that the monster is that thing over there? Correct, that is the monster. Is a white armored eel. Okay, so white armored eel is a Shinwei from the tower. He is a big fish that lives in Shinsu flowing through the tower. Usually he's a very mild temperament, but this time of the year is his spawning season and he hasn't eaten anything for a few months. So he is very aggressive at the moment. Are you afraid of him? Too bad. If you are afraid of that fish, how can you pass the test? How can you go on? Okay, if you are afraid, you'll never find the girl you are looking for. Alright, so we get this whole topic that he's bringing up, right? If you can't finish this test, which is not meant for you because this is the test that's meant for the girl, and she's a coward, she can't complete it. If you follow the same path, then you all are meant to be on the same path. If you can complete this test, then you're greater than her and you can continue up. If she can complete the test after you, then she is worthy to climb the tower. But instead she complains about it constantly and she tries to get away from this duty that she's been given. And that is one of the things about Rachel. Rachel is a really incapable individual, right? Maybe she's already been eaten by a hungry eel or been kidnapped by bad people. We see that Hiron is implying that there's bad people in the tower who'd kidnap you. It's almost impossible for you to pop that ball. taking this test is suicidal. And you won't be fast enough to escape. Will you end up as eel food rather than committing suicide? Okay. Snicker. I like how Hiran laughs at that. Welcome to the tower, Mr. Balm. We see Balm is willing to face any fear. Alright, so let's do the overdive onto this section, right? So remember I said Balm has some primal instincts. He can tell that he can't defeat the white steel eel. Something is wrong. It's beyond where he should be. Because he wants to follow Rachel, this is the test that he must do, right? And this is his only chance to go up. If he chooses something else, he won't be able to go up ever again. So regardless, he chose to follow Rachel as this part of his story. So that's how this whole thing starts. And we see that Hiran is snickering at it because Hiran knows this test was made impossible because it was made for somebody who is incapable of climbing the tower. Right? The ball is supposed to be unbreakable, not a breakable ball, an unbreakable ball. So yeah, something more crazy. I am going to go on to episode 2 because I figure that this is going to be fine. So that was the first part of the test. The next part of the test that he managed to get around somehow is the fact that it's meant to be death to the person who goes in. And we see that he says in that Shinsu you won't be able to move fast and the fish will be faster than you. So we get the impact that Shinsu resistance would have been the only way you could go through there. So let's continue on with this here just for the sake of it, and I am breaking it down really competitively, right? If you think about it, Balm is really resistant to Shinsu attacks. Think about it, White hit him with his sword and because of the thorn he managed to survive it, but beyond the thorn itself he has high Shinsu resistance, so he could tank that hit. That was the first one at the wooden horse station up in the tower in the second season on the Hell Train. We know that one of the reasons why he managed to hurt Calavan is that weird Shinsu resistance that he has, and the weird Shinsu quality that he has, the blessing of Shinsu. It disturbed Calavan's power. It may be because of the technique he used, but nonetheless, that is the power Balm has. My lady, Lady Yuri. Okay, let's go with this one here. What are you trying to do on the first floor? Would you please answer me? An irregular has stepped into the tower. He has opened the gate himself. Alright, so we see here that only one irregular is registered. The one who opened the gate himself. So we know Rachel couldn't have opened the gate because the gate wasn't opened twice, and she already knows that it's a male who entered himself. So there's only one irregular as far as they're concerned, one true irregular, and Rachel is just an accompanying irregular. Yeah, someone really did open the door. If that's true, it's game-changing news. I can't believe an irregular is on the first floor. It's a big event, Evan. Don't tell me you're going down to watch. He's now with Hiran on the first floor. In a few minutes the test will begin. What a big event. Okay, so you have to understand that in the course of the tower, these are very, very rare, right? The 13 warriors who entered are the first to enter. There were no rankers at the time, so nobody could watch that, right? Then following that is Enryu, who enters the tower. He is another irregular. So he's the first event that they could have watched. The second event they could have watched was Fentaminum entering the tower, and she actually got to watch Fentaminum slay Jahad's forces in the Jahad's floating castle on the 134th floor. So that is the reality behind Yuri. She's met an irregular before. Actually, she's met two irregulars before. Okay, and then following this, the next thing which is of great importance to her story in particular is Yurik Mazino, who enters third. So that's the third event of this year, and Yurik comes up following after Fentaminum, and he wants to go outside of the tower, but he never gets to because the door is locked, and he finds out the whole story about Jahad and going beyond, and he doesn't want to do it. The next person to enter the tower who climbs up to this level is going to be Rachel and Balm. Rachel and Balm are the next irregulars to enter. Now, Rachel is still considered an irregular because she came from outside the tower. She is not a regular entrant, and she didn't even enter in the right way. She didn't enter by opening the door. She entered because Balm opened the door, right? So she's basically a sneak-in irregular. She doesn't have the power. She doesn't have the qualification. She's here by chance. Okay. Don't you think it'll be fun? Not at all, it's dangerous, you coward. What if Hiran finds out? Stop worrying, you baby. Sigh. Here we are. I hope Hiran doesn't see us. Look over there, it's the new guy and Hiran. Ooh, where? He doesn't look special at all. I thought he would be a monster like Yurik. So we see her reference to Yurik is already being given here. This is a disappointing. This is a bit disappointing. Okay. Do you think he has a secret power? Okay. He looks agile, but his body is small, and he doesn't look like a cross-species hybrid, right? So we understand that Yurik is actually a cross-species hybrid. So Yurik isn't just one species; he's more than one species of human. So we know that about Yurik, right? And we see that Evan even says that he's met the previous irregulars, so it's a strong chance that Evan knows where Enryu is in the whole hint of the situation. Yurik doesn't have something like that either. I do think something could shoot out, but not a beam. Okay, so we get a dirty adult joke here right in the start. And a nice... Okay, what a waste of time. Extremely strong like Ventaminum or Yurik. But it seems like that guy won't even qualify for the test. Isn't it harsh to put the white steel eel? Something that strong is usually used for tests above the 20th floor. Alright, we see here Evan already figured it out, right? This is meant for tests above the 20th floor, and this is meant to make someone give up, right? It's too difficult. But anyways, whether he takes the test or not, there is no chance that boy will make it up into the inner tower. Even if he takes the test, he'll eventually die. And not welcomed here. Alright, so we see this quick argument. Yuri is thinking of helping him to get through this test, and without Yuri's help it would have been absolutely impossible, right? And this is the luck of the irregular. This is the reshaping of the story, right? This can only be done by an Axis. Something is shifting fate so that she was here. It could have been Phantaminum's doing. I will not deny that, but let's just look at this here. Is he nuts? I knew he wouldn't disappoint me. Now this is fun. I'll be back soon. Stop. Who is that? It's a giant foot. And that's how Yuri meets Balm with a kick to the face. Hey, new guy. You got a death wish, huh? Hey, answer me, who is this girl? Don't tell me you didn't even give him a pocket jet. You forgot you're the oldest guardian in the tower, aren't you? Don't just stand there, come down here. I knew you were her guide. Long time no see, Mr. Hiran. Okay, give the boy one of the extra pockets. It's a A grade pocket. It's too generous since you're new, but this is all I've got for now. And as it touches, it unravels. You can understand what I'm saying, right? I understand the language now. Is it this marble? It's because of this marble. Does the marble allow me to understand you? Bingo, right. Okay, so A rank guide, A rank. Okay, so we see an A rank guide and a ranker of the tower. So at A rank, they enter into that level of becoming rankers, right? And rankers are those who have completed the climb, right? So what I gave you is called a pocket. It's essential when going up the tower. There are a lot of functions, but first of all, it translates every language to Maxethian. Maxeth, this is the workshop, and we get the whole hint of how important they are. Okay, don't panic, it's just invisible and it will reappear. Okay. Are you really going too far to force him out because he's an irregular? I'm carrying out the test legitimately. I would never try to knock him out. The irregulars who've entered the tower all had extraordinary powers. This is an opportunity to test. This is an appropriate test for an irregular because they are special. For those who open the gate and enter the tower on their own. Okay, so we're getting this whole thing. Because they have extraordinary strength, they are feared by others. And we already get the hint that Yuri likes him, right? He'll grow handsome in the future. Then I'll change the rules slightly. You lend him one of your weapons that you own. Your weapons are only for high rankers. If you okay, right, and we get this here that she's a high ranker, right? But you don't have. By the way, don't you have the black march bestowed onto you by the king? Actually, lending weapons is against the rules, but if you say that you lend him the black march, I'll allow it. If you say it's too much to spare for him, he will have to take the test with his bare hands. Hey, new boy. Wanna go up the tower or give up? I can't give up. I need to find someone. You're a player, you're already dating someone. There's a high possibility that you'll die before you find what you seek. Still wanna go? I will go anyway. Well, okay. Arms inventory visible mode. Take this is the black march. Now you have to understand what Yuri did right now is she literally risked her life to let Balm go up the tower. It's a major scene, it's a major impact to the whole story. It has greater correspondence, right? You shouldn't lend me such a precious thing for my sake. Take it. We see Balm still cares about people. The name of this weapon is Black March, okay. Is the greatest of the needles. Okay, and we see 13 months crafted by Ashul Edward. I have a it's like half living thing. It's once you ignite it, it shows extreme power. And here's something that is extremely, extremely important. The weapon strength depends on the wielder, no matter how good it is. That is an A rank weapon. It can shatter A rank power, right? The ball is greater than A rank. When he stabs the ball, it doesn't pop. When he ignites it, it pops. That means that Bomb's potential is greater than a ranker. And remember, you have to be particularly powerful to handle the ignition of some weapons. So Bomb is at ranker level on this level. So he already started this climb at ranker level. Even Yurik Mazino wouldn't have been able to have beaten this test. And that's no understatement about it. If Yurik had to take this test and he had to try to shatter that ball, he was going to hit it and he was going to fail. So this isn't a floor 1 level test. This isn't a floor 20 level test. This is a level 100 to a level 134 level test, or even higher than that, going beyond it. That's how crazy this test is for Bomb. Thank you, Yuri. I promise to give this back. And Evan is about to ruin something for you if you don't know this here. You fell in love at first sight. But that's a crime, you know. So Yuri is in love with him. She fell in love at first sight. Remember, he's reading this as a guide. I don't have time for idle fancies. I've just taken a liking to him, that's all. And we see that's the first thing, and here's the white steel eel, and we get the to be continued. Now, right here we get the hint that he's something supernaturally powerful, right? We get the hints that he's going to be very special. He's using something well beyond his level, a weapon that will only be equal to his level. So if he's taking it on as a regular person, the weapon's only a regular person level weapon, but it's a A rank weapon, so A rank items will be regular level to him as well. So if he stabbed a regular A rank item with the A rank weapon, it will pop. There is no stronger item that is normally used for testing. This is well beyond all of that. You know that it's coming up in the next set of episodes where Yuri literally complains and says there isn't a ball in this tower that the Black March wouldn't be able to pop. That has to be higher than even A rank. So it's an S rank ball. S rank is rankers and plus. Right? Rankers, high rankers, advanced rankers, advanced rankers, and high rankers. That is where S plus would be in any one of those leagues. So Bomb had this power from the start. That means he didn't get nerfed, like I said, 3 times. He got nerfed after the floor of tests. He got nerfed again after the 20th floor. He got nerfed again at the workshop. He got nerfed again at the Hell Train. He got nerfed again at the end of the Hell Train. He got nerfed again at the cage. He got nerfed again at the nest. So yeah, Bomb gets nerfed 7 times to make it more reasonable to the story. Honestly, SIU should just make him super overpowered and make sure that we get irregulars showing up all the time. So family heads intervene to stop him. That's what we need. We need someone on that level to make sure that Bomb is under control. And that was one of the things that I really felt was taken out of it. I understand SIU wants his character to have some development, and it's a very important part to have development. But when you made your important character so OP before you even started the story, you're bound to have these types of troubles as you go on with your push. And that was one of the catches. He made a fantastic character. His character was too good for the story, and he ended up with the problem. Now, this is where I'm going to stop it. I know it's a 35-minute episode with only 3 episodes in it. But nonetheless, it's nothing like my Walk Up the Tower, which is 10 episodes at a time. And it's been overly analyzed with spoilers from the start to the end. And here's something for you to note, right? Bomb is already showing us potential that we shouldn't see. He's taking on an impossible test and he's going to pass it. He's going to pass an impossible test because he's able to do something that most people can't do. He has the ability to win others over in an instant. That's what he did with Yuri Jahad. Yuri likes him, and she bribed him because of the kick to the face as the first thing that she did with the really good pocket, right? He doesn't know that it's a bribe as yet. He'll find out later on when he talks to the other regulars that it's just a bribe to stop him from talking about what she did. And we get a lot of retcons through the story, and I'm just being honest, there's a ton of them, and it's one of the reasons why it makes it so difficult to come up with crafting theories. Because when you think about this here, A rank, B rank, C rank, it's actually starting with below E, right? Then you reach 20 and you're E, so you're an F rank regular at this rate. Then you become an E rank regular at the 20th floor, a D rank regular past the 30th floor, right? Then you become C rank past the 43rd floor, the 44th floor, right? So 44th, 45th floor, somewhere over there, you become a C rank. Then you become a B rank shortly after that, in the 50th floor. So B rank is around 50th floor. And BAM as a C rank regular. Okay, wait, no, I'm not 100% sure on where you become B rank, right? I'm just being honest about it. It might be a little bit higher. I might be totally wrong. It might be floor 75. But yeah, that's what happens to BAM. And BAM as a C rank regular beats a ranker in an official test. And in an official test on the first floor, he basically uses a ranker's techniques, which is really, really super special. And he also has a very, very powerful body. We find that out very quickly when he takes the full ignition of an ignition weapon. Remember, not Danwa and Chanwa. I'm not sure which one is the one who's following Uraha, but one of the two has another piece of that ignition weapon with the soul of a beast from one of the floors on the tower. The beast is called Krishna, I think so, or Krish-E or Krishai, whatever it is. But nonetheless, the monster sealed inside their blades, it's a really powerful beast. So those weapon ignitions aren't any joke. They are really powerful. And that's one of the key things about that level. So yeah, that was everything that had to be discussed with just this little bit over here. That's how much of information is actually here for us to analyze when you finish read the story. And I do this here on a weekly or monthly basis. I even miss things and find out new things. Like right now, I just realized when they were talking about Yurik and the rest of them, and basically being said that this was for irregulars as a test. And then later we're going to see that even this test was more insane than what they thought it was. So yeah, that's all something to come, and something that will make the story different. I hope that you all do enjoy this series, and you can catch the next episode immediately after the climb up the tower ends. As I said, I will do these live streams maybe once a week, and it will be in between, so it will mess up the schedule of those episodes if I'm incoherent. If I am coherent, I'll be able to keep the schedules perfectly, leave out a certain number of episodes, jump up to the next section, and have that for you guys. So thank you all for watching. I really do enjoy doing these. So catch you all in